It's a pleasure to have you here. Has the legal battle surrounding Nnamdi Kanu entered an entirely new phase? Did the federal government's latest move unintentionally open fresh questions about the conviction of the IPOB leader? And could the outcome of this appeal reshape discussions about jurisdiction, fair hearing, and criminal prosecution in Nigeria? Those are the questions generating intense debates after the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, claimed that a cross appeal filed by the federal government has exposed what it described as serious legal contradictions in the case involving its leader, Nnamdi Kanu. The separatist group argues that issues raised in the government's own appeal process have created fresh uncertainty around the legal foundation of Kanu's conviction and the authority of the courts that delivered the judgment. The development has reignited national attention on one of Nigeria's most controversial and closely watched legal battles. For years, the case has generated strong opinions across political, legal, and regional divides. Supporters of Kanu insist that his prosecution raises important constitutional questions, while the federal government maintains that the charges against him were properly brought before the courts and prosecuted in accordance with Nigerian law. IPOB's latest argument centers on the issue of jurisdiction. According to the group, the federal government's cross-appeal appears to acknowledge concerns regarding aspects of the sentencing process. The organization insists that jurisdiction cannot be divided into separate components of a criminal proceeding. In its view, if a court lacks jurisdiction during one critical stage of a trial, questions naturally arise regarding the validity of the entire process. The group argues that conviction and sentencing are legally interconnected and cannot be separated when assessing the authority of a court to hear a matter. This position has become the focal point of the latest legal controversy. IPOB contends that the Court of Appeal may eventually be required to determine whether the conviction can remain valid if concerns regarding jurisdiction are found to have merit. The organization insists that this issue goes beyond the fate of one individual and touches on broader principles governing criminal justice, constitutional rights, and judicial authority in Nigeria. The group also raised concerns regarding what it described as procedural irregularities. During the trial process, among the issues highlighted were allegations relating to fair hearing and the interpretation of applicable laws, disclosure of evidence, and procedural compliance. IPOB argues that these matters collectively strengthen its position that the conviction should face closer scrutiny during the appeal process. These claims remain the position of the organization and are expected to form part of the wider legal argument that may be examined by appellate courts. The legal significance of the jurisdiction arguments cannot be ignored. In criminal proceedings, jurisdiction is often described as the foundation upon which every judicial action rests. Without jurisdiction, courts generally lack the authority to hear cases, issue rulings, or impose sentences. This explains why the debate surrounding jurisdiction has attracted considerable attention among lawyers, legal scholars, and political observers following IPOB's latest statements. The case itself has experienced a long and complex journey through Nigerian judicial system. Kanu, the leader of IPOB, has faced terrorism-related charges brought by the federal government. His legal troubles have generated local and international attention for several years, particularly following his controversial return to Nigeria in 2021 after being apprehended abroad. The case has since passed through multiple legal stages, including significant rulings from both the Court of Appeal and the Supreme Court. In October 2022, The Court of Appeal discharged Kanu after ruling that his extraordinary rendition to Nigerians violated legal principles. That decision generated widespread reactions and was celebrated by supporters of the IPOB leader. The federal government challenged the ruling, and the matter eventually reached the Supreme Court, which set aside the discharge order and directed that the trial continue on its merits. That decision effectively reopened the case and paved the way for subsequent proceedings. Following the continuation of the trial, Kanu was eventually convicted on terrorism-related charges and sentenced to life imprisonment. The judgment marked a major turning point in a case that had remained at the center of public discourse for years. Government prosecutors argued that evidence presented before the court established their case, while Kanu and his supporters continued to insist that the proceedings were fundamentally flawed. The latest appeal process now appears set to reopen many of those arguments. IPOB believes that the federal government's cross-appeal has created new legal questions that appellate judges will eventually have to address. The organization has urged legal practitioners, diplomats, human rights groups, and international observers to pay close attention to the proceedings, insisting that the outcome could influence future interpretations of jurisdiction and constitutional protections within Nigeria's legal system. Beyond the courtroom, the case continues to carry significant political and social implications. The IPOB leader remains a highly influential figure among supporters of Biafra's self-determination movements, while the federal government continues to view the matter through the lens of national security and public order. This combination of legal complexity and political sensitivity has ensured that every development in the case attracts widespread public attention. As the appeal process moves forward, one central question remains unanswered. Will the court uphold the conviction and sentence already imposed, or will the issues raised regarding jurisdiction and procedure alter the direction of one of Nigeria's most consequential legal battles? The answer may not only determine Nnamdi Kanu's future, but could also shape future debates about the limits of judicial authority, constitutional safeguards, and the administration of criminal justice in Nigeria. Do you think the latest appeal changes the direction of Nnamdi Kanu's case? Or will the courts uphold the existing judgments? Share your opinion in the comments below. Please subscribe to First Next News for more breaking political and legal developments from across Nigeria. I'm Chidera Isum. Bye for now.